Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This your boy, Marty for here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamari for here once again, and we are going to talk a little bit about Megan Thee Stallion's new debut album, Good News. Now, I know usually I haven't talked much about music on my channel, but I talk about it all the time outside in my real life, and I was wondering, like, what is like the best way to incorporate music discussions on my channel? Because like I watch a lot of different YouTube channels that do these music discussions, and they have like all these different editing softwares. They got, they're able to put in the pictures and the videos, and we're still doing a fundraiser for our new laptop. By the way, that fundraiser for GoFundMe for me and Scotty's new laptop for our upcoming podcast is in the description below. But I've watched them and I've always kind of felt intimidated, like, I can't really do, all the things that they got going on. I would just really be talking into the camera. But I'm just like, you know what? Why not just do it in my own way? You know what I'm saying? We don't have to have all the fancy shit, all the stuff flying across the screen, all the videos and stuff. Maybe not yet, but one day. We don't have to do it right now. So normally when I've done album reviews in the past, like years ago, I would go literally like track by track, but I want to speak generally about, my feelings towards the album, how I sort of felt while listening, and just my thoughts and opinions on Megan Thee Stallion herself as an artist. And I mean, what I do have to say is I wasn't sure when her technical debut album was, because I know she had like the Fever, I know she had like the Tina Snow, which were all, from what I could see, like full-length projects on like the streaming site. So I'm thinking that these were like albums for her, but they kept on referring to them like as mixtapes, and she hadn't released her debut album on a major label, I guess, just yet. So I was like, okay. So, and then she gave us the EP earlier. Was that this year? This year feels like such a blur. The Sugar EP, the one that had Savage on there, Captain Hook, which was another really good popular song for her. So I was curious to see, like, okay, so once she's had like all this notoriety, and she was on WAP with Cardi B earlier this year. So I'm like, with all this notoriety for her music, like, what is her debut album going to sound like? What's going to be the subject matter? What's going to be the sound, So as I went through this album, I tweeted that like by like the second or third track, I was already throwing ass. Like, I know I've seen some critiques on the album where they talked about that she kind of has like sort of a repetitive flow, and she doesn't necessarily switch it up too often, and people wanted her to sort of recreate like her Fever type of sound, her Tina Snow sound, like from her original mixtapes. And I have to challenge those opinions and say, like, we can't expect for an artist to grow and just have a chance to mature if we keep expecting them to make the same album over and over and over again just because we liked it originally. Like, they may, have enjoyed it, and it may have just how happened to become a hit, but they like to experiment with new things. Like, they're in a different mindset. They want to talk about different things. They want to say it in different ways. So I always encourage artists to expand their sounds, play with whatever it is that they're feeling emotionally and try to put it in their music, just because it will feel more authentic as opposed to them feeling pressured to try to make the same hit over and over again. So what I will say is that with Good News, she did kind of go for somewhat of a more commercial sound, rap hip hop wise. And one of the tracks in specifically that I knew that this was like a real like attempt at mainstream success is like the Don't Rock Me to Sleep. Don't Rock Me to Sleep sounds like nothing else on the entire record. And it's almost like how, if y'all remember from Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday, which shout out to her, she just had like the 10-year anniversary of Pink Friday, which is one of my favorite. It's still gonna be her best album to be. She's not gonna be able to top that no matter what she does. But what made Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday so I think, so good and just so like it stood the test of times because she did implement, because Nicki Minaj, as contrary as many people may not know, is like a big theater kid. So she liked to be animated. She liked to play around with different stuff. So she had the hardcore hip hop sound, but she also had like the singing aspect, some of the more melodic sounds in her album. And I think this was Megan Thee Stallion's attempt to do something like that by still being close enough to her original sound as well. So, and I mean, I could see why people may not like it because it does sound somewhat trivial lyric-wise compared to the rest of the album, but it's still mainstream enough that I feel like over time it may grow on to people, if that makes any sense. And while we're speaking on other tracks, I just have mine listed here that I sort of stood out to me while I was listening. Is first of all, it's the very first track called Shots Fired. Shots Fired literally just goes through all of the media headlines, the indirect but still direct digs at Tory Lanez and her ex-best friend during that whole shooting incident that we were really getting hit over the head with this entire summer. But it was an insignificant event that did happen to her. It was something that she had dealt with, and she was feeling guilty about how, well, not necessarily feeling guilty, but she mentioned in the song, like, do you know what I could have done? Do you know what I could have said? How I tried to protect you, and you did me like this? And then you got my best friend over here acting a fool and not helping me on my behalf. Like, I get it, and it caused an entire shitstorm on the Shade Room with her best friend saying comments and all this other messy stuff. And I'm like, she's like, we're gonna get this out the way. Track 1. And it's Shots Fired, and we just go hit the ground running. So I definitely appreciate her for that. And the second track that I really, really enjoyed was the second track on the album, which is called Circles, which samples Jasmine Sullivan's Holding You Down. I was like, yes, 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 Megan Thee Stallion. This is essentially the rap version of that song. It's just like, how could you, treat me this way? Like, after I've been down for you, doing all this stuff. And it just sounds so good. And it's just like Megan's flow. The thing about Megan's flow is Megan makes you feel like when you re-rap her songs, even just while you're listening to her songs, you feel confident. You feel like you are that hot girl, And even though people can, critique her rap and, her flows to being repetitive, it's just like she gives you a feeling. She makes you feel confident in your sexuality, because I feel, a lot of women are sexualized. A lot of women are, chastised for being sexual. And she is riding along this train that, like Nicki Minaj, of course, like Cardi B, and just women that have come before her that have embraced their sexuality and made it a powerful thing. That's what she makes you feel throughout this album, and just with her delivery on songs. And this song is no exclusion. And as we continue with that theme of empowering your sexuality, is Freaky Girls, which samples, again, one of my favorite Adina Howard songs, Freak Like Me. I'm like, wow. You know what? I know this costs you a lot of money, Megan, to get these samples, girl, but damn it if they don't sound good. Okay, and it's featuring SZA, who's singing the hook on that song, and it just really, like, I love songs that give you like a taste of a throwback, so it's like somewhat of a familiar sound, but it's modernized. Like, I know this song is gonna get a video. Everyone just talks about this particular track whenever they reference the album and their favorite track. So I know that this is going to get its own video, and I cannot wait to see it. So the next song that came on my radar, and I was like, I want a video for this right now, because it sounds so Houston, so just underground rap, and just so anyway, it was Body. And I heard the album, and I think she released this the same day that she released the album, but I didn't know that she put the video out for this song yet. So when I saw that she did a video to this motherfucking song, I put it on my Instagram story. If you guys don't follow me at Jamar84, JAMAR84. I hope to see you there. I had to post the damn choreography, and I was just like, man, you better fuck this up, bitch. I loved everything about it. It's just, it makes you, it's body positivity. Thick ass, big titties, like, it makes you feel good for being a melanated, dark-skinned woman. I'm like, yes. And then the video looked expensive. Okay, the video looked good, and she got like a whole body challenge going around, so that's gonna definitely make more streams and attention to the song. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm loving everything about that song. It is on my playlist now. I'm actually gonna play it when I walk to the store, just going and walking down the street. Body, yada, 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 yada. Yes, bitch, I love it. So after Body, it's What's New. What's New is just one of those songs where it's just like, girl, the people hating on me, talking shit about me, girl, they ain't got half of what I got. What's new? It's just like a way to address people that are always speaking negatively about you, and you just gotta be like, girl, it's just what they do. They work in overtime, child, and it's just one of those ways for you to kind of brush that sort of negativity off, which I think is a great message, especially for nowadays, because, child, the internet is, with no pun intended, savage. So I'm glad that she has an album here that's just like, girl, let them do what they do, girl. It's nothing new. It's just what they're gonna do. So the next song after What's New is Work That. Now Work That samples another one of my favorite songs from the mid-2000s, Juvenile's Rodeo. I'm like, ooh, that brought me back to like when I was in high school when those type of songs came out, child. And I'm like, I'm really just having a great time with this album and its samples. I'm like, these aren't like commonly sampled songs, at least not to my knowledge. And so the fact that she sort of took songs that we're still familiar with that aren't used very often, I think was very, very smart on her part and her team. So congrats to Big. I hope that becomes a single as well. I want all of these to become singles, to be completely honest with you. Every single one of them. Body's already a single, but I know for sure that Circles is gonna get something, because Circles is like one of the top tracks that people always talk about, along with Freaky Girls. And even like What's New and Work That are up there too. So I mean, Megan, we just telling you what we want, girl. We're just telling you what we want. So those are my tracks that's definitely stood out to me. Let's go over those again. That's Shots Fired, Circles, Freaky Girls, Body, yada, 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 yada. What's New, Work That, and Don't Rock Me to Sleep. Those are the standout tracks upon my first initial listen, and the listens after that too. Those are still like the ones I kind of go back and repeat another time before I listen to the rest of the album. The rest of the album is still good as well, but those are the ones that stood out the most to me. Congratulations to Meg on this debut. I do like Meg. I really do. I'm enjoying how she really minds her business. She's cool with everybody. I love how she was able to work with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, and she's just like, look, I'm just here to get in the bag. I'm cool with everybody. I ain't about to be out here picking no sides and being a part of that extra beef and shit. So I really have a lot of respect for Megan for that, taking that high road. And I wish her much success. I actually have the Good News album cover. Let's talk about the Good News album cover, hold on. Because I don't know what it is about that newsprint and like Megan's look in it with the color scheme, but it looks really good. I made that the background of my phone just because I just like looking at it. But anyways, that's all I have for the Good News album sort of review and recap, you guys. Let me know if this is a type of video that you want from me whenever like really A-list new projects come out, because it is something that I want to talk about. We're going to start incorporating little music discussions. So I'm just going to make these like a little mini videos on my channel. Doesn't have to be anything really, too elaborate that I got to put all this stuff into. We're just going to get on there and just talk about it. All right. So thank you guys so much for, commenting, supporting, sharing, subscribing. I'm seeing my viewer count go up, and it's really, really exciting. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you put down in the comments your favorite songs from this Good News album, and we can talk about it there. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.